Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Pent-up demand and robust growth in financial services led to an expansion in domestic output for the year 2021, with the real gross domestic product estimated to have expanded by 1.8%. This was the highlight of the Cayman Islands Annual Economic Report 2021, released by the Economics and Statistics Office. Strong demand for consumer goods and real estate propelled growth in supporting sectors. Despite strong local and international demand, the closure of the island's ports for most of the year led to a decline in tourism and travel-related services. At the end of 2021, the central government's operating deficit, less its operating expenditures, stood at $18.1 million. But when capital expenditures and capital investments are taken into account, the total expenditures and investments exceeding operating revenues by $117.2 million. The Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency accepted a generous donation of $20,000 from Rotary Central of the Cayman Islands in support of its Plant a Tree for the Jubilee initiative. The majority of the donated funds will facilitate the purchase of native, endemic, and fruit trees for donations to constituencies, schools, and non-profit organizations across Grand Cayman. A delegation of Cayman Islands government representatives led by Premier and Minister for Sustainability and Climate Resiliency, the Honorable Wayne Panton, recently traveled to the Bahamas to participate in the Caribbean Regional Heads of Government meeting in preparation for the COP27. Delegates met to discuss four thematic areas of importance to the Caribbean region: mitigation, adaptation and loss and damage, support and cross-cutting issues such as transparency and reporting. Premier Panton said the conference provided meaningful opportunities for relationship building with regional counterparts and collaboration between the United Kingdom overseas territories on a needs-oriented strategic approach. The Cayman National Cultural Foundation has announced a significant donation by a family with close ties to the Cayman Islands. The donated artworks are two mixed media images by Miss Gladwin K. Lassie Bush and a watercolor painting by U.S. artist and longtime visitor Mrs. Betty Wood. The Miss Lassie paintings were gifts by the South Sound artist to Mrs. Wood and then later regifted to her daughter Mrs. Sarah Louise Woodham. In explaining the donation, Mrs. Woodham said it's where they need to be and where they'll be most appreciated and enjoyed for years to come. Police continue to look for Luisto Eusebio Hernandez in relation to firearm offenses. He is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. If seen, call 911 immediately. The search is still on for two missing men. 53-year-old Noel Paul Manning has been missing since June 24th, and 26-year-old Adrian Williamson has been missing since July 6th. Now you are asked to contact your nearest police station if you see them.
Stormwatch 2022 is brought to you by Home Gas, your propane experts before, during, and after the storm.
The National Hurricane Center is tracking Tropical Storm Danielle, which is located about 950 miles west of the Azores. This tropical storm does not pose a threat to any land. It's what we call a fish storm. Now, models show that this storm is going to stay out at sea and then turn into a hurricane. Another system being watched is east of the Leeward Islands, those in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, Montserrat, and a few others in that area need to pay very close attention to it. There's a high chance of it turning into a depression or named tropical storm by the weekend. The third system being monitored is in the eastern tropical Atlantic off the coast of Africa. Now the window for this storm to develop is quickly closing. Environmental conditions will make it very hard for this system to develop. So far, we've made it to Danielle on the list, and we have to wait to see if the system approaching the Leeward Islands will become Earl. We are now in September, which is when the tropics tend to get a lot busier, so be storm ready, Cayman. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:10. Mixed clouds and sun with some scattered thunderstorms. Have your umbrella or raincoat handy just in case. The temperature rises to the high 80s, and when the high temperature is at 87 degrees Fahrenheit and the relative humidity is at 73% like the forecast calls for, the temperature will feel around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and the sun sets at 6:39. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the low 80s. Looking forward, shower activity for Saturday remains a bit elevated, but it does decrease by Sunday and the beginning of next week. Remember, it's summertime, so those hot days, warm nights with scattered showers are very typical for this time of year. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, so we encourage you to support them. Now for some regional and international news. In Pakistan, deadly flooding from an unprecedented monsoon season has destroyed lives, livelihoods, and infrastructure in what its climate minister has called a serious climate catastrophe. Some 33 million Pakistanis have been affected by the flooding since it began in June. It has killed more than 1,100 people, including hundreds of children, and the death toll is expected to rise. Global aid in the form of tents, food, and medicine is starting to arrive from China, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates. The European Union has also pledged financial support, and the US will provide $30 million in humanitarian aid to support the floods. The head of a Russian oil company that spoke out against the war in Ukraine has died after reportedly falling out of a hospital window. He is the second employee of the company to be found dead this year. A statement read, "Ravil Maganov immensely contributed to the development of not only the company, but the entire Russian oil and gas sector." The Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean is projecting that St. Lucia's economy will realize the highest GDP growth among Eastern Caribbean Country Union member states in 2022. The sound fiscal policies rooted in the Philip J. Perrier administration's maiden budget for 2022 and 2023 have set the nation's GDP to increase by up to 8% this year. Jamaica has recorded 2 additional cases of the monkeypox virus, bringing the island's number of cases to 7. Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness, stated that the additional cases were discovered on Wednesday. There is no evidence to suggest to this point that they were imported cases, but it is an indication that the virus is out there and more people are being exposed to it. Tufton added that the first set of vaccines to treat monkeypox disease is expected to arrive in Jamaica this month. Jamaica again dominated as top provider of tourism destination services in the Caribbean when it received half the awards at the World Travel Awards ceremony in Montego Bay Wednesday night. Jamaica won 26 of the 52 awards, including the top destination and tourist board categories. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.